All these rejections from the middle Bollinger Band.
Resistance we're going to need.
If you actually see here, we get a
And we'll look for a
hard
healthy
double
higher
I
low.
would not
don't have
be
the
convinced
pullback
to
across
enter
the
long
trend.
trade.
Hey everyone, we're talking about Canadian MJ. There's been a lot going on. We've been trading it furiously. Congrats to all the bulls, huge gains. Month maker in the first week, multiple month maker for some people in the first week of June here. Every day we're celebrating. This is how we celebrate in the chat room, right when the bell rings. Just party time when everybody's making money. This is why it's fun to be trading with a team, because you can all make money doing the same plays in the same direction, and obviously lots of money being made out there for the bulls the last couple of days. And personally, I am now shifting my mindset to short term. I've had a more longer term mindset for myself the past couple of weeks. I've been swinging positions longer than I've been holding them in the past. ITHUF, CRON, WEED, IIPR. We're only going to be looking at the big four here now because a lot of talk is going to be about psychology and what to anticipate with the vote tomorrow. The vote tomorrow is after hours, meaning it's not going to have any impact directly in terms of the results of the vote on the trading tomorrow. It's going to be Friday that we see the reaction. That being said, first let's start it off with, if you are a long-term holder and that is your game plan, the price tomorrow should not matter. The price Friday should not matter in the slightest. The only thing you're concerned about with is the vote. The vote is very significantly priced in bullish to this market right now. There is little doubt that the bulls are going to get what they are looking for. So when you see a move today, 12% on ACB, 10% on Cron, 10+%, it got up to 12 as well. But when you see these moves with no, here and now news, there are some little bits of news coming out for APH and the concentration center and things like that. But just in terms of ACB, 12%, what is happening? Why is it doing that? That is the market pricing in this vote. So the market is smart. It prices things in anticipation. If the vote were a 50-50 and, it's a coin flip on whether it's going to pass or not, if it passed, we would see a very significant bullish reaction, and we also would not see the price running up into this vote like we have been. Because it is a known event and because it is very likely to go through, we are looking for the bulls to react before the vote to price it in. Maybe not price it all in, but to price a good amount of it in. So that being said, there's also psychologically the rounds going around of sell the news, a sell the news event. Normally, I'd be looking for the sell the news event to happen on Friday because everybody's talking about sell the news. I'm watching for it tomorrow, and also because of some of these charts and how overextended they are in the short term as we're heading into tomorrow, and the fact that, can we keep up a whole new trading day tomorrow for the bulls to hold up? I don't think so. But that being said, this is a very short-term mindset. Obviously, this sector is extremely bullish. Obviously, consolidation, we're just going to be looking for daily higher lows to form to stay in uptrends. So if you are not an experienced trader and you're not comfortable, don't mess around with it and try and flip it. This is something where we've been practicing for nearly a decade, some of us, more than a decade for many of us, and a couple years for others, but we're comfortable doing this and comfortable exchanging in and out of positions. And for me, my psychological mindset with trading is I would always rather leave money on the table than give money back. So I've had a great 6 days of June so far. I'm not giving them $1 back. That's my money now. Thank you very much. And I'm going to continually add to that and continue to accrue capital without giving any of it back. So my account value, my goal is day after day, more money than yesterday, rather than these big spike and peaks and riding the waves up and down and losing, $5,000 in a day or whatever. I'm going to avoid doing that. So I'm being protective at this point. I've had great gains in the last 6 days. They're not getting any of that back. So WED, the weekly time frame, we're going to be looking for an all-time high this year, absolutely. Even if we do sell the news, we're looking for an all-time high this year. So again, you have to keep time frame and perspective in mind. And now moving forward in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the longer term, but it's going to be mostly short-term mindset and day trade setups that I'm looking for over the next 2 days, how I'm going to play this market. And right now, I went to all cash at the end of the day. And tomorrow, the only plays I'm going to be making are bearish. If the bulls stay strong tomorrow, that's going to be great. People will continue to make money, and I'm going to sit on the sidelines and watch it, and I'll be perfectly fine with that. I'm either going to be playing bearish tomorrow or I'm not going to be playing. That's already my game plan. It's already established, and it's very easy to act on that set in stone game plan because I either make a bearish entry or I don't make an entry at all. So the bulls in weed are seeing a daily inside bar. That's not surprising. We closed right in the middle of a wide range indecision candlestick yesterday, and the range $39.40 support, $41 is resistance, then $41.40, then psychological $42.43, all-time high $44. So what we need to anticipate as well is names like WEED that had a sell the news mini effect yesterday. Let's go to that volatility real quick. We dumped real quick. A lot of us exited on this move, and a lot of us played the oversold bounce. I did as well. I had a great entry, and I let go of it a little bit too soon. But again, I'm just going to continuously lock in that profit when I have it and not going to go broke that way. So we're trading within this range, but what this did is it essentially, I use an analogy where if you have a shaken up soda can, you're unscrewing the top a little bit to let out some pressure. And that's what this sell-off does. It cools off the RSI from the mid 80s all the way down to 60 and allows for continuation again. So names that have not done this, like ACB and Cron that I'm about to show you, are much more primed for a sell the news setup. I do absolutely think the entire sector is going to go together in whatever direction we go, but some names are going to pull back harder than others, and the names that have established supports are going to be able to hold up a little better, in my opinion. Another thing to note is that on this move the last few days, it has been ideal for short-term trading, and that's because we have leaders and laggard scenarios. So WEED, goes 6 to 8% 2 days ago or yesterday. It goes 6 to 8%. Take your profit and then look at ACB. ACB very clearly at the end of the day yesterday stood out as the lead bull closing at the high of the day, and then it goes 12% today. So that gives the opportunity to jump from one name to the other, compound profit, and make significantly more profit. Whereas if the entire sector is going tick for tick, hand in hand, this one's going up 4%, this one's going up 6%, there's not much difference there. But in this instance, it was a huge difference jumping around to different names, with ACB and APH being the laggard. So for WEED, the first support we're looking at is 40.23. The bulls need to see a break of 41 first thing tomorrow. I'm anticipating tomorrow a bullish move to start the morning. Whether it lasts 20 minutes or an hour, I couldn't say. The faster the move to the upside, the shorter it's going to last, in my opinion. So if we go 5% in 20 minutes, I'm going to start looking for sell the news in that scenario. If we go 2% in a half an hour, the bulls can hold on a little bit longer, in my opinion. Again, this is my most likely scenario. Could we continue going up tomorrow and the bulls hold control all day? Absolutely. It's just not, in my experience of 8 years of watching MJ charts, it's not the most likely scenario. So I'm not going to be looking to play a less likely scenario because that does not have the odds in my favor. So for WEED, we need to break 41 and 41.40 first thing, but that doesn't mean the bulls are in the clear. And because of the reason that I just said, if we shoot up to the upside, and it's not really WEED's RSI I'm concerned about, it's looking just fine. And that's because we had that day of big time profit taking where we dropped from 41.40 to 38. We dropped almost, about 8% in an hour. And that is cooling things off. So I'm going to jump around a little bit just to compare these names, but Cron on the weekly, the bull break of the equilibrium, beautiful follow through. Look at the volume spike. Bull MACD cross is closing in. Again, an extremely bullish long-term chart. If you are not looking short-term, don't care what happens the next couple of days. So the daily time frame is a rocket ship, huge bull volume, key resistance broken of 794, and we're now looking up, and this is actually the US ticker. Let's go to Canadian just to keep it consistent. But broke that resistance. Next level is up at 1185. Now, why I'm looking to short Cron tomorrow is, number one, the daily RSI is over 70. That's not a big deal. Number two, the 4-hour RSI is over 80. Let's scroll back historically. What happens when the RSI goes over 80? Well, it doesn't stay there long, and it's met with sharp pullbacks. And those sharp pullbacks are short-term trading opportunities. So I am going to be setting up, and again, the more we push first thing in the morning, the higher this RSI is going to get. So on the 4-hour right now, it's 82.5. If we see a 4% start tomorrow morning, in the first 20 minutes, this 4-hour RSI is going to be up, approaching the upper 80s. And again, you just have to look back historically. Can the price continue without consolidating with RSI in the 80s? And the answer every single time it's ever happened for Cron is no, it has to consolidate. So again, it's looking historically what has happened in the past. The hourly RSI at this point is above 80 as well. What has happened when the hourly RSI gets above 80? And the answer, you know it is sharp consolidation. That being said, it can extend to the upside above the 80s, but you can see how quick the pullback comes when it does do that. It's very short-term spikes, big spike up, big spike down. That's what we could get tomorrow morning if we see this quick start for the bulls, a big spike up with a 3 to 5% move in the first hour of trading, and then a pullback in a potential sell the news. So Cron, we got our resistance levels. In terms of support, I mean, the short-term support levels aren't going to matter because if we do see a sell the news scenario, it's going to dump, and it's going to be RSI that has us looking for the bounce. And for WEED, that RSI dumped the other day. The 5-minute RSI, I was very comfortable scaling in when the 5-minute RSI was down in the teens. So there will be, if we get a sell the news reaction, there will be an oversold bounce attempt as well. Once that selling pressure subsides, the bulls will buy the dip, and there will be a solid bounce in this same example. And it's nice that WED is giving us an exact example of what to be watching for from 2 days ago. And it was a start of the morning. This is the open. We had 15 minutes of huge bull action, the inability for continuation, and then an all-out waterfall dump. I am expecting something very similar to this happening in ACB and Cron and the sector tomorrow. I'm going to be looking to short it. If it doesn't happen, I'll sit on the sidelines and congratulate the bulls. APH, traded some APH as well today, and WEED, higher low, and need to see a break on the weekly of 1314. That's an important resistance level to continue this weekly trend change and get a bull MACD cross on the weekly here. Daily time frame, increasing bull volume, great sign. Resistance 1314. This is a very important level to watch tomorrow. If the bulls cannot break 1314 and we start to see some profit taking, we are going to be watching for a double top rejection and a pullback. But APH comparatively, RSI levels are not as high. Look at the 4-hour RSI, not even above 70. Hourly RSI, not above 70. So WEED and APH have less overbought RSI levels on the 4-hour and the hourly time frame comparative to ACB and Cron. I would be choosing ACB to short over Cron if I could, but I don't have that ability here in the US. Huge bull move on the weekly. Nice turnaround. Past 2 days, really playing catch up. This is the laggard scenario. And huge increasing bull volume. I traded ACB as well today. Close at the high of the day. RSI on the daily is above 70. That's not a big deal. 4-hour RSI, look at this thing. 87. If we start strong tomorrow, we're going into the 90s on the 4-hour RSI. What has happened in the past? We have gotten up to the low 90s a couple times when we were at all-time highs. We're not at all-time highs. But when we were at all-time highs, we did see those spikes. But again, it's a huge spike. Get up to 90 RSI and a quick pullback on consolidation. Was it the end of the world? No. We dropped significantly. The bulls formed a higher low and saw continuation. That can absolutely be the result of this sell the news event. So keep in mind when I am talking sell the news and I am strategizing on my game plan, I'm looking 3 days out. I'm looking to sell the news. I'm looking to play short and flip it, likely in a day trade. I'm not going to hold shorts long. I'm not going to stand in front of this bull train. And then I'm going to buy the dip in oversold conditions and see how long I can let that ride and look to profit in both directions. That's my game plan because I am absolutely bullish the sector. If you're not bullish the sector, you're a fool. So, extremely overbought 4-hour. Hourly RSI is extremely overbought, 91. So again, we start tomorrow. We're going to see an hourly RSI pushing the mid to upper 90s. And historically, the only times that has happened is at all-time highs. And when it happens, we pull back very sharply. So that's the game plan. Again, because everybody's talking about the sell the news event, I do believe it's going to happen tomorrow rather than Friday. And I also think that is the first sign of weakness, everybody's going to run to the exit. And what that's going to do is just what happened on WEED, where it magnified the move to the downside. It scared a lot of people. We reach a point where everybody who's going to sell has sold, and it's only buying pressure after that. And I'm looking for that exact same scenario. Ideally tomorrow, I'd love to play it in both directions and have a good day. That's where we stand. That's my mindset. Again, price levels, support and resistance are not as important for me here. The most important things are volume, RSI levels, and of course price levels, we're going to be watching them. You know, if we hit a double top like WED did and then dump down, you know, a double top's going to be a red flag. That gives us a setup, a top fishing play where we can enter short and put a stop if we see continuation. We're definitely going to use price levels for our game plan, but it's going to be all about momentum, volume, and RSI, which is a momentum indicator. So again, if you are newer to trading, don't try and trade in this environment. It is as fast-paced as you can get. It is as high volatility as you can get. And stick to your trading game plan. When were you planning on selling? You know, when were you looking to lock in profit? I don't know. You know what I'm saying. I'm done talking. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. Best of luck to the bulls. You're fine longer term. I'm talking 2 to 3 days. Take a deep breath.